Okay, watch the date because it's going to jump too. There you go. From 31 to 1. Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. It's good to have you. And we have yet another Lange Sohne Zeitwerk Date. This one distinct from the last one I recently reviewed because this one has the rare factory full deployant clasp. If you love this watch, reach out to me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. So today we're discussing a model launched in 2019, effectively the basis for the second generation Zeitwerk. It has a longer power reserve, an hour jumper button, and a peripheral date. This watch thinner than previous Zeitwerks with twice the power reserve. Deeply impressive stuff. 44.2 millimeters in diameter in white gold, really gray gold. More on that in a moment. You can see that the watch, featuring a 12.9 millimeter profile, thinner even than previous Zeitwerks with less power reserve and no date. It's gotten slimmer. 52 millimeters from lug to lug tip with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it wears nicely. It's big, don't get me wrong, but I could wear this. If your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference like mine or larger, game on. And yeah, it'll fit fairly easily beneath a dress cuff or a sleeve. It's a meaty thing, you can really feel it. Heavy, substantial. You can see large scale, alligator leather, large rectangular symmetrical scales, always indicative of a high quality cut of the animal. Semi-gloss, there is some bolstering or stuffing to add volume. We've got a monotone stitch, and then we've got a folded edge, all this in black on the bottom. We have calfskin in gray. You can see brand new Lange Sohne factory strap, no crimping, no gouging. And what's up, Doc? Well, this is. You've got a full clasp. The standard model includes a pin buckle, so quite happy to have this as it's harder to drop your watch by accident when you have a full clasp. And you can see BRO, this is a Brogioli made clasp, made in southern Switzerland. If you look really closely, you can see the Swiss hallmark, and that's why there is a Swiss hallmark on a part of this German watch. Gray gold, I mentioned it a second ago. What does that mean? It's the good stuff. It's what all the best brands use these days. It's uncommon to see anything but gray gold from high luxury houses now. It's a white gold that never needs to be rhodium plated and is white all the way through. You can see the case is a bit distinct from other Lange watches. Not all of them feature a satin finish contrasting mid-case, but this one does. The bezel is domed, and then we've got this little vertical lip next to it at its outer flange, and we have these stepped lugs, which were a product of company founder Gunter Blumlein's notion that the watches should have some distinctive feature that sets them apart immediately, and these stepped lugs were his idea. You can see we've got a little bit of a soft bevel that thins as it approaches the end of the lug and grows a little bit larger as you approach the edge of the case. You can also see that the lugs ride up the edge of the bezel a little bit, an old watch designer's trick to allow the lugs to be fuller and larger while avoiding any extra thickness added to the watch. You can see we've got a medley of satin polish on the watch, but also on the trigger itself, and you can see a trigger on each side. Talk about what they do in a moment. A unique crown only featured on the Zeitwerk. It's conical with a sharp knurling, and given the resistance of the two mainsprings in this model, it's a pleasure to turn. A real tactile experience and a satisfaction in doing so. Okay, so we're on the dial side now, and of course these are famous because at the end of the day, we all know that the Zeitwerk is a jumping time watch with a full digital display inspired by the 5-minute clock at the Dresden Opera. And yes, again, this was a Blumlein idea. He had some early sketches of what he thought such a watch might look like. It was his idea. He died, unfortunately, before he could see it realized, but he was the father of Lange Sohne in the modern era, along with Walter Lange, and he had many of the ideas that drove the company through the years, everything from the original watches, the stepped lugs, the Zeitwerk, the turbograph. He was a Renaissance man. And so the idea here is that you have this full digital display, only now for 2019 we get a peripheral date. And the peripheral date is nice because it preserves the traditional symmetry of the watch. It's a very subtle thing. It has a little red infill, so you can see that the current date has a bit of a red hue to it. It's very difficult to see unless you're looking for it. and you can see it sits underneath a separate sapphire. The center dial is actually part of the movement. So what you see here is actually German silver that's been rhodium plated to make it whiter, and this is in fact the central pivot for these two discs. Of course, we have small seconds, we have a power reserve indicator, now courtesy of twin mainsprings. Power reserve is 72 compared to the original Zeitwerk's 36. We do have a hacking seconds function. We also have, if you want to watch the date real quick, we have a jumper that allows us to quick set the date, and that's the trigger over here. The original Zeitwerk required you to really scoot and adjust quite a few minutes if you had to turn through many hours. Now we have a adjuster that allows us to quick set the hours, which is infinitely preferable. I know some of you are probably thinking, ooh, Tim, it's about to jump again. Well, let's enjoy a full jump, right? If it's gonna jump, let's do the triple jump. It never gets old. You can also see that the latest versions don't have the pre-arming or the preload, the pre-jump, if you will, on the minutes discs. The rest of the dial that's not part of the display is actually made of sterling silver that has been gray colored to give it a better grayscale monotone look. And of course, we're going to flip everything over and take a look at the movement, which is a highlight. This is the L0438. So L for Lange, 04 was the year work started on the movement. It was the third movement they started that year, and 8 means this is the 8th revision of the caliber. You can see already that the bridge for the barrel is gone, and so is the Maltese cross stop works from the original. We have two mainsprings that are stacked here, 72 hours of power reserve, still at 2.5 hertz beat rate, 5 beats per second. You can see that now we have a free sprung style balance where, although some adjustments can be done with the swan's neck, almost all are executed with these variable inertia eccentric masses on the rim. We still have an overcoil, so the watch keeps a very consistent time in every physical position. That's not universal to Lange watches. Only a few flagship pieces have it, and this one is one of those. 5-position adjustment, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. Always happy to see it. And you can see we have 61 joules here. A deeply impressive movement, I have to say, on almost every level. 516 parts in this caliber. That's up there with Grand Sonnerie territory. One change that has been made for aesthetic purposes is that this remontoire bridge for the constant force device used to look like a bit of a broken arrow. Now it's a straight shot across the movement. And so we have this locking lever. We have an air brake that slows down the transmission of energy to reduce strain on the mechanism. Then we have 2 third wheels with a hairspring in between them. And that is your remontoire. Once a minute, the jump of the minutes display on the other side releases energy through the jumper and then into this mechanism, which energizes that hairspring, which drives a second third wheel, which drives the fourth wheel, the escape wheel, and the escapement. So 1 minute worth of energy gets stored up each minute to ensure that there's a minimal drop-off in amplitude even as the barrel wears down, but also to ensure that the huge amount of energy and force in the barrels does not actually overdrive and cause knocking or overbanking or damage to the escapement. So it's both to ensure very consistent timekeeping, but also do the forces involved to protect the escapement from the mainsprings. You can see we've got quite a lot of fine finish here. Let's take a look at the wheels. You can see all of them here in the winding train feature a combination of solarization, double solarization for the ratchet wheel, and then micro-beveled teeth. You can see we have both polished and fired blue screws. The bridge for the remontoire system includes many sharp interior angles that are formed where bevels on steel meet, which is no small feat, stripes across the bridges. You can see that we've got screws with chamfered slots in circumference, freehand engraved, the half bridge for the escape wheel as well as the balance. There's engine turning on the base plate. You can see the intricacy of that freehand engraving. No lathes, no drill bits, no lasers, no two exactly alike. The swan's neck is quite nicely done too. It's black polished on its top, but each component of it is also beveled on the edge. We have German silver bridges and plates, nickel, copper, zinc, with the copper giving it that sort of champagne hue. And this is important because it's an homage to history. German pocket watches in the 19th century, at the height of East German watchmaking, they would have used this material. They also would have used jewels set in gold and chaton, which then in turn would have been fixed into the bridges and plates using screws. So you could see those right here on the bridge for the remontoire mechanism. And then we also have anglage, or beveling. I need to learn the German word for that. I know the French terms, but not the German ones. And you can see that the beveling is quite nice and mirrored and handsome and lives up to your expectations. We have Streifen, and they are definitely not Côte de Genève, because we're not in Switzerland, much less Geneva. Then all this is 30 meters water resistant. If you love this watch, hey, this one's got a significant optional upgrade. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.